Welcome to CBC Connect, the podcast from CBC Bank that brings clarity to your finances and connection to your community. I'm Matt Malone, Vice President and Marketing Director at CBC Bank, Commercial Banking Company, and today we're talking about breaking down banking basics, checking accounts, savings accounts, common mistakes, and how to start strong. Whether you're opening an account for the first time or just need a refresher on the fundamentals, we've got you covered in this episode. And we're going to do it all, believe it or not, in about 10 to 15 minutes. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully that's the case. I am joined today by one of our lenders, Mr. Andy Griffin, who is very familiar with the city of Valdosta. And so it's nice to have somebody who was raised in this community. Open Bible, yeah?
Yep, 2010 Open Bible graduate.
Open Bible, go Warriors.
Go Warriors, that's right.
All right, well, we appreciate you being with us today, Andy. Andy is stationed at our Baytree branch. We've told you in previous episodes about where we're located throughout the community. We've got a branch in Tifton. We've got a branch in Moultrie. Hayhira as well, which Brian Warren and I talked about on the last episode, being the original location for CBC Bank. And then, of course, on Baytree Road, as I mentioned, where Andy is, and then on North Valdosta Road as well, here in Valdosta, Georgia. And that's where we're coming to you from today. So we're glad to be here, and we appreciate you listening in. We hope you like what you hear. The idea is to bring some practical knowledge about banking from the perspective of CBC Bank, which we're proud to say is a very integral part of our community. And we love the connection we've been able to make with individuals in our community and businesses in our community. And we're excited to have this new podcast, the second episode of the podcast, CBC Connect. And we're looking forward to bringing you a new episode each and every month. So again, thanks for joining us, and be sure to tell your friends if you hear something you like on this episode today. Andy, let's dive right in here. Want to talk a little bit about just banking basics. Just kind of go back to the very high level, basic level topics of banking, and I want to start with the difference between a checking account and a savings account, and why someone might need both.
Yeah, so obviously two very different products, right? That really kind of are determined which one you go to based on what your need is. Checking account's going to be your everyday use, right? This is where your payroll comes into. Your employer pays you directly. You're going to have things coming out like bills, all that sort of thing. So for really, that checking account is just your everyday use. Savings account is going to be kind of for those quote unquote rainy day funds, right? Maybe you're putting some money back for vacation, putting some money back for car repairs, anything like that, right? Otherwise, the savings accounts are going to be a little bit less used, right? That they're going to kind of stick the money away and hopefully don't use it for a while. So yeah, those are kind of the two differences.
So when someone's, let's say we talked about this a little in the last episode. If someone is young and they're looking to kind of get this thing started for the first time, or, not always the young folks that are looking to start up, some kind of banking setup. What is one fundamental mistake that someone might make when opening an account or utilizing a service provided by the bank for the first time?
Yeah. So, one thing we see sometimes is obviously all banks offer all these different products and, things along with their checking and savings accounts. And we see sometimes people signing up for those products, but they don't really understand them. They sign up for them because it sounds good. It's a, product that the bank offers within another product. One thing that kind of comes to mind, and, I asked some of our girls over at Baytree about this morning, just because obviously they're dealing on a day-to-day basis. And one thing is like bill pay, right? CBC offers bill pay, which is kind of a automatic way to pay some of those daily bills, electricity, water, all those sort of things. People sign up for them, but they don't really understand how they work. And so most people think, okay, as soon as the money comes out of my account, it's credited to whoever it is that you're paying. And obviously there is a little bit of lag time in there because it's really a check that's issued. And so just because the money comes out of their bank account on Monday doesn't mean it's going to be credited to the account of whoever they're paying on Monday. It may be Thursday or Friday later that week. So really just understanding, that understanding the products that you're using is greatly greatly benefit.
When you talk about understanding the products, again, this is something that we talked about in the first episode of, we want to encourage our customers and anybody for that matter, if someone's thinking about, maybe switching over to CBC Bank, which we would love to see that happen as well, but not being afraid to talk to an individual at your bank about some of these services or about just some of the basics. One thing that can happen sometimes is folks might be a little nervous or a little embarrassed or a little scared about asking questions about things. And that's something that we don't want to see that happen. We want our customers to have an opportunity. Again, we're very big on establishing relationships with our customers and with the businesses in this community and people that we support, through community service and things like that. But we want, we've worked hard to try and create a welcoming environment, and we want our customers to know that you can come in and you can talk to anybody and ask questions. And like you mentioned, the girls over at Baytree, they're looking forward to that opportunity to help somebody guide them through news services or just basics, whether it be Sonia or Mandy or whoever. And I know you've seen that daily. For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, just making people not feel overwhelmed.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, there is that overwhelming feeling of, if I switch banks, all these, we hear all the time, I've got all these automatic payments that are already coming out. Right. And so just making them realize that yes, while it is a task, it's not a daunting task.
Sure. Well, what if someone is looking for choosing a bank for the first time? What's something that they should look for, do you think? Yeah,
I mean, one of the first things that, obviously always comes to mind is customer service. Can you reach out to that bank and get a employee immediately? Not having to call, the 1-800 number that's going to put you through 5 prompts and you finally maybe get to somebody. Having that customer service, you call, somebody immediately picks up, they're right there to help, solve your problem. Second is kind of ease of banking, right? In today's world, nobody's standing in line on Fridays, to cash a check. You hear my parents talk about, the whole velvet ropes in the lobby, of the days gone by. That's not a thing anymore, right? So having ease of access to your banking products, so mobile banking, ATMs in, your circle of where you live and work on a day-to-day basis, I think is huge.
You talked about that 1-800. I've told this story before, but I remember when I first swapped my accounts over to CBC Bank and I was trying to set up Apple Pay on my watch, I think it was, or my phone, whatever. And I needed to call that phone number to complete that process. And I thought that when I called the phone number, it was going to be a bunch of prompts and I was sitting in my office here on North Valdosta Road. And when the person picked up on the other end, it was somebody that was just like 3 offices down from me.
Exactly.
It completely caught me off guard. I was like, holy cow, this is amazing. Yeah. It was, I think it was Pam maybe or somebody and they were like, oh yeah, Matt, you could have walked down here and we could have taken care of this.
Try to make it really easy.
But that's the same experience that a customer will get. Sure. They call and they get someone who is actually sitting in this building. They could have come in if they wanted to, which is totally fine either way. But that was such a pleasant surprise to me. And it stuck with me. It hit me. It struck me. So we want our customers to know they had that same opportunity, and that's something that's really special. What is one small piece of advice you might give to a young person when considering opening an account?
Yeah, I mean, first thing that comes to mind is almost, jump feet first, right? So just get the account open. There's so many things in life that we don't get and understand until we actually do them. So opening that account, and we offer student checking accounts, if it's somebody that's younger, just get that account open, right? So you can start learning all the products that a bank has to offer. Second would be just ask questions, right? Our CSRs, all of our CSRs at CBC are great. They're knowledgeable. And so, don't be afraid to ask a question. I promise you they've heard it, 20 other times, probably that week. So don't be scared to ask the questions, learn about the products. Cause it's going to pay dividends years to come.
We talked about the ladies over at Baytree. It's the same situation regardless of which branch that you go to. And we're going to have some, in some of our future episodes, the CSRs you mentioned, we're going to have them as guests to talk about some of their experiences, helping customers and what they're looking to do and just giving everyone a chance to meet some of those folks and to see, when we say that we're trying to create a welcoming environment and really lean into our customer service, you're going to get a chance on this podcast to kind of hear and see firsthand some of these individuals that you're going to be dealing with. And Andy's one of them. And Andy, just wanted to thank you for taking time today to join us on this second episode, one of our very first guests on the podcast.
Absolutely excited to be here.
It's been fun, and we're just thankful for everybody who's tuning in to CBC Connect. We're excited about the opportunity to continue this podcast. We consider this a connection to smarter banking and a stronger community. And if you found today's episode helpful, we encourage you to follow, like, or subscribe so you don't miss what's next. If you're ready to open an account, explore loan options, or get one-on-one advice, stop by your local CBC Bank branches. Again, on Baytree Road, North Valdosta Road, Hayhira, Moultrie, or Tifton. You can also find us at My CBC Bank on Facebook and Instagram, or visit us online anytime at www.cbcbank.com. We thank you for listening. Keep building what matters, and we'll remain committed to you, our customer, our community.